It's this story an hour ago, so and I started this morning, so we're just gonna jump into it. Thank you for listening in advance. Friday, September 9th. Wow, I put the wrong date. Redo. All right. Friday, September 7th, 2002. 2012. Can we just do this again? This is not a comedy skit, I promise. I laugh on this. We just, thank you for your patience. Friday, September 7th, 2012. This story is about two souls intertwined as one. I'll call her Serena and him DeAndre. They met on Friday, September 7th, 2012. It was weeks after their freshman year orientation at a good enough university. DeAndre was 19, Serena was 18. DeAndre was single, Serena was not. After eagerly saying goodbye to her long-distance boyfriend, she felt her forehead wrinkled downward while her eyes narrowed with confusion. This can't be it. Something's not right. Dissatisfaction oozed from her pores. Between taking a shower and walking off the stench, Serena chose to go downstairs and escape the room where she almost compromised her soul. She almost forfeited her most precious jewels, her inner fortune, her purity, to someone who was unqualified to treasure her. Serena saw a sign on the dorm building wall near the front desk that invited her to a nearby cookout that was already drawing to a close. The only thing they had in abundance was potato salad. So after nibbling at it and scanning the area for familiar faces, she saw an intro to social studies classmate and walked over to say hi. She was relieved that he remembered her and proceeded to introduce her to his friends right there on the spot. She just thought he was just standing there with people and just chatting with them like they just met for the first time, but he's been hanging out with them for a while and knew all of their names. She was shocked. This is person A, person B, person C. Serena smiled politely while wondering, how is this a tight-knit crew, so quickly established after being just 1 month since their college journey began? She doubted she would even hold on to their names or faces until she heard. And this is DeAndre. He stepped toward her with purpose, staring at her with piercing brown eyes that melted something in her, like butter left next to a baking oven. Then guilt rose once she caught herself staring at his full, hydrated, not Sahara, thick, pink lips curved upwards in a polite grin. Lips she had no idea how familiar she'd get to within the next few hours. Oh my gosh, is she staring? DeAndre offered his right hand for her to shake and said, "Nice to meet you." Serena broadened her eyes and thought, what is this, an interview? She shook his hand firmly and self-consciously, just like she was taught to, out of fear that he'd see her as weak. Her widened eyes glanced down at their hands before they released their grip, a formal exchange. But something was there. He wore a button-down blue sleeve shirt with beige khaki pants, but what caught her off guard was his hat. It was a cream-colored fedora with a pastel green and blue striped band. Why is she so focused on what he's wearing? And then she realized, did she unknowingly arrive for a special appointment? Then she looked at what she was wearing. A mid-sleeved navy blue tunic with black leggings and pointy black flats. She felt underdressed, not special enough for an occasion like this. In a matter of 6 hours, they were sharing earbuds together, listening to dangerously tempting R&B classics such as You Send Me Swinging by Mid-Condition and Can We Talk by Tevin Campbell. She doesn't remember when it happened or what they were talking about, but eventually they locked eyes, shared their first kiss, which she thought only happened in the movies. Time no longer mattered. Ironically, in this season in her life, no one could catch her watching a chick flick or read a romance novel, yet she felt like she was living in one. When does this chapter end? What part must she play to sustain this flame? By 2 a.m., DeAndre walked Serena to her dorm, and they promised to meet in the dining hall the next morning when it opened for breakfast. She wouldn't know until weeks later that he didn't consider himself as a morning person, but he woke up early for her. 3 days later, perhaps to confirm in her heart that this wasn't some fling, some fruitless whirlwind romance, Serena decided to break the news to her almost ex that their relationship was officially over. She told DeAndre that not only was she going to call him, but told him where she'd be when it happened, and that turned out to be the campus library. And she also asked him to just please be nearby, please come and hang out. DeAndre was attempting to act aloof and casually looked behind his shoulder at her while she was talking from a distance, trying to hide his smile that already reached his gray ears. She knew right then and there that she would never make a phone call like this again. Not only is breaking up over the phone a cruel thing to do, not to mention this same guy broke up with her over voicemail just a year prior. The next person she's with, why does it have to end? Who said I love you first? He did. Who bursted into laughter enough for others in the dining hall to turn toward their table to see what happened? She did. Who waited for the other after class first? He did. Who gave the other their milkshake when the person accidentally dropped theirs? She did. They discovered within their first year together that they had vital things in common. They both came out of the womb first. No one can plan that. They both lived with their younger sibling, and both Serena's brother and DeAndre's sister needed unique accommodations because of how they learned and interacted with the world. The couple's mothers clung to them, declaring their firstborns as their best friends, while their fathers exiled themselves for reasons that once plagued Serena with rejection-laced sorrow and fueled DeAndre's low-boiling, suppressed anger until they confessed what they needed: healing. As the years passed, piece by piece, they finally gave every burden to their Heavenly Father. Every missing, lost, or stolen hope, every blurred vision, every disappointment, every unfulfilled promise, every missed mark, every orphaned, reclaimed, then re-abandoned dream, everything out of their control. It took Serena years to learn to not litter her soul with insecurities and tearful woes of self-rejection. Serena asked DeAndre where his strength came from, and he replied, "I'm just as weak as you." Silence doesn't equal absence of pain. They chose to sleep during the storms like Jesus did, despite the seasons of spiritual insomnia, peacelessness, discontentment. Nevertheless, since the autumn of 2012, they were more than what people could see. They chose to be growth partners, pursuing God together. Serena stayed at the same college for all 4 years, but DeAndre had to leave. His family needed his support back home, and he chose to put his education on hold for their sake. When he broke the news to her, she questioned in her heart, how long? How long is he going to commit to me? How long am I going to commit to him? They became long distance for the following 3 years. Now it's 2016. After she graduated with her degree, she was positive that she'd get a good paying job right away, or at least an internship. That didn't happen. She'd be able to move out and live on her own. That also didn't happen. So what did? Hardship, confusion, puffy eyes, and lack of direction. But they still loved each other through it. 2 years later, it's 2018, and he proposes to her intimately, with only God as the witness to his gentle request. Serena agrees, no hesitation. Then she falls asleep because it's almost midnight, and it came out of nowhere, and it was just a regular Saturday night, and now it's Sunday morning, and she has a fiance. But she did wait 5 years for this moment. 9 months later, they elope at a courthouse with less than 10 relatives to help them say goodbye to their singlehood. Now it's been 10 years, married for 3, and as though it's part of an unwritten tradition, although it's 2022, Serena asked DeAndre at least once every sun rotation, during the autumn season especially, a varying form of the same question. Why did you shake my hand? What did you see in me that day that persuaded you to do that? Did you decide to be with me before or during the handshake? The answer was different each time. I don't know. God prompted me to. I imagined not doing it and then realized I'd regret it if I didn't. That was Serena's favorite reason. As you probably guessed by now, this story is true and this story is mine. My middle name is Serena, and my husband's middle name is DeAndre. I chose different names to attempt to distance myself from my own story, to see how it would feel to share it with others this way. I cried while writing the story today in disbelief that it's non-fictional. But this Wednesday was our 10-year anniversary. Now it's 2022. Our testimonies are ever evolving. Our faith has strengthened, not weakened. And I thank God for accountability, acceptance, and the handshake that changed my life. Tighten your grip on life and don't let go. Thank you.